Hey everybody, it's that time of the week already once again. Welcome on into the live Friday Night Football edition of the Sports Buzz, driven by your Bernil Tire Factory. I'm your host, Jay Tust. Playoff races began to take shape this week on the Prep Gridiron as league battles dominated the slate throughout the Quad Cities. For the Lewis and I football team, well, that was exactly the story. The hype around the Bengals starting to build. As you can see this week, they cracked the top 5 for the first time this season in the 5A state rankings. So the Purple Hazes posse fired up with rival Lake City in town. In the first, the Bengals strike first after Hunter Robbins returned the open kickoff down to the 1. Tyler LaPlante takes it in, 6-zip Bengals. Lake City would answer back just as quickly. One of the most dangerous QBs in the IAL, Mark Smiley, putting a frown on the faces of Lewiston fans. With the Timberwolves knocking on the door once again, the Bengals answer with the takeaway. Connor Immel with the polite, oh, thank you, Lewiston ball. However, they couldn't capitalize off the turnover. Bo Kearns threw 5 touchdowns last week against Sandpoint. Here he tosses one just to the wrong team. Colton Houlihan goes 42 yards to pay dirt. Lake City wins 24-14. A couple difficulties right there, folks. We're going to try to figure this out. Now, in terms of what this means in the standings, the Timberwolves now have a stranglehold on first place. It looks like Lewiston is going to have to win out in order to have a chance. Now, switching over to the Great Northern League, Clarkston, they hit the road after consecutive victories over Cheney and East Valley at home. Tonight, they were in Spokane taking on West Valley, the runners-up at state from a year ago. Colby Hansen has been one offensive force for the Bantams on offense all season. Here, Brady Arnone tosses the strike. That was it for offense, though, for the Bantams. The Eagles pull the upset. Now, fellow GNL foe Pullman, they were also up north tonight facing Lakeland. Here, Tyler Langerfeld hits Brendan Barrington, who gets free into the secondary. That was one of the few highlights, though. Lakeland wins 49-27. Now, out in Orofino, Kamiah was in town taking on the Maniacs. If you remember the first time these teams met, it wasn't even close. The Cubs won 48-0. A quick glance at the Central Idaho League standings. A Kamiah win would likely give them the league title. We picked this one up in the third quarter of play. Kamiah working on a 13-0 lead. Star junior tailback Jack Nygaard takes the handoff, inflicting a little pain as well as he goes into the end zone. A little later, quarterback Dan Miller takes it himself. That made it 27-zip. Kamiah keeps on keeping on with a big win. Now in the White Pine League, Troy and Prairie both entered this week unbeaten. The fight for that final and third playoff spot, though, in the league really starting to heat up. Clearwater Valley came into the evening with the upper hand, but they were playing Potlatch, a team that appears to be on a mission. The green and gold here trailing 6-0, but the Loggers forced the turnover, and that would set up this. Stephen Brent hits the edge and tiptoes the sideline to tie it here. Brent would add a 40-yard TD run with under a minute to go in regulation to win it. The Loggers pull it out 14-12. Now, a little earlier this afternoon, Genesee traveled out to Craigmont for an afternoon affair with Lewis County. In the first quarter, the Eagles having some problems. Mitch Renfro eventually brings down Christopher Riggers. The next drive for the Eagles, the Bulldogs stepping it up on run defense. Finally, LC going to the air. Trying to, at least. Genesee's D coordinator trying to block my shot. Just kidding, Coach Tillman. Either way, Riggers getting jacked up. That's Jack Herman on the tackle. Genesee wins 32-14. Now, last night, Prairie playing a rare Thursday night game. It was homecoming out in Cottonwood, and to no surprise, the king of the whole ordeal was the quarterback. What doesn't this kid do? I hear for a reasonable rate, he'll even mow your lawn. To the game we go. Tim Free coming off the edge, causes the fumble. Colton Nexel picks it up. The big man jukes the defender, dives for the pylon, and gets in the end zone. Okay, it was a little easier than that. Still, it's worth a smile on the big man's face. 44-6 Prairie. In the third quarter, the rain picking up, as you can see, and Devin Schmidt providing the crowd pleaser. Everyone go home, get warm, and stir up some hot chocolate. Schmidt goes over 1,000 yards on the season. Prairie goes over the Mercy Rule limit. They win 52-6. So what does this all mean? Well, Troy beat Deary tonight 62-12 as the Trojans and Pirates remain the two only unbeatens in the league. After that, as you can see, well, it's a crapshoot, folks. The next couple weeks, are going to get pretty interesting. Heading upriver, last time the Asotin football team was at home was almost a month ago. Tonight, the Panthers return to the Emerald, as head coach Sal Lopez would say. Tri-Cities Prep in town for a homecoming. We pick it up in the third. Junior tailback Levi Forsman takes it on the dive and makes his way through the Jaguars defense. He totes the rock 19 yards to the promised land. 20-7 Panthers. After that, Prep answered back to cut the lead to 6. Dylan Glover, who spent most of the third quarter on the sideline with an injury, showing he's just fine. 66 yards to the house. Asotin wins 28-14. Now, a few other scores to get to real quick. Playing at home for just the second time this season, Colfax, they put it to Lakeside. The top-ranked Bulldogs are now 5-0. Then out in Pomeroy, the Pirates seem to be getting the hang of this 8-man football thing. They won 70-50. Now, all right, folks, that's all we have for you tonight. The next time, we're going to see you in the same place, same time next week. Until then, I'll see you on the sidelines.